In this next video, I'm going to show you how to log into MyLab and Mastering. If you haven't already registered, I'm going to show you how to register for MyLab and Mastering. So when you come into Canvas, you're going to see this MyLab and Mastering page. So you're going to click on that. This is considered your course ID. The reason why you would log in this way is because MyLab has grades that need to be synced into Canvas. So in order for those grades to be synced into Canvas, you have to register through this link. So over here, you're going to set up, it says Open MyLab and Mastering. So you're going to go ahead and open it up. Now, if you already have an existing Pearson account, you can go ahead and put in your username and password. If you forgot it, then you want to make sure you look for that. Otherwise, you can create an account. I'm going to go ahead and create an account. So here I have created an account. I have put in my email address, password, first name, security question, agreeing to the terms, and if you wish to receive any information. So I'm going to go ahead and select Create an Account. And so from here, you have these three options. If you've already purchased an access code through the bookstore or in another form, you want to select access code and then put in the access code. If you're ready to purchase it for 18 weeks, you can purchase it for this amount. Okay. Now, the 18-week access for MyLab Statistics is for 18 weeks. This is a 16-week semester. Now, if you cannot do any of those for the time being, you still should be able to register on the first day by getting a temporary access without payment for 14 days. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and it says, are you sure you want the temporary access? I'm going to select yes. Okay, so now it's telling me that since it's taught by me, then that means I'm in the right course. Okay, and it's telling me all the information that I need. Now, if you're not getting to this point and and it's telling you that something's wrong, that means that your browser needs to be changed or you need to update any of the browser information. So very important to make sure you look at that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my courses. Now, when I'm in my course, you're going to see over here on a tab. Now, at the beginning, this is called a preface to the student. It's a 19-minute video from the author, and it explains exactly what this textbook is about. Okay, so I would recommend taking the time to look at that just so that you become familiar with what they're asking you to do. Okay, and then you have your course homepage. Okay, and what's on your course homepage is basically the calendar, and it'll update any assignments that you may have as you look at the course home. Here is your assignment page. And so here are where your assignments are located. I'm going to come back to this page after we go over some of the information here. But you have an interactive assignment, and then you have your homework assignment. And then again, interactive assignment, and then your homework assignment. So this is what you do as you move along through the course. Now, you can access the interactive assignment through the interactive e-text. This is where your textbook is located. So when you click on that, okay, it's going to give you the interactive e-text. So for example, for Chapter 1 data collection, I'm going to go ahead and select that. There's a Chapter 1 opener, and then there's the Introduction to the Practice of Statistics. I'm going to go ahead and select the Chapter 1 opener. Okay, so it says Part 1, getting to know the information that you need. And there's Chapter 1 data collection, and it gives you definitions of what statistics is. So again, this is an interactive textbook. Okay, and also there's a textbook PDF version on Canvas. Now, this arrow is going to now click you to the next page, and it's going to give you the Chapter 1 data collection outline. So here it just talks about sort of the beginning of the course. And so I'm going to go ahead and select Introduction to Practice of Statistics. And what this does is when I click on that, okay, it's opening up the interactive assignment for section 1.1. And here what happens is you see section 1.1, and you have define statistics and statistical thinking. So you have these 5 objectives. So these 5 objectives are also located up here as tabs. So you can either move through the objectives up here or also down here. So we're going to go ahead and select the first one. So I'm going to select that one, and then it says define statistics, and it says follow the following video features one of the authors discussing the nature of statistics, and so on. Okay, and so here you have a 10-minute video. Now, as I said earlier in a previous video, I talked about having guided notes. This is where you should have the guided notes for chapter 1 available to you, because as you watch the video and other information, you can write down all the definitions that you need as you move along the course. So here, you're going to watch the video, you click on the video, and then watch the video. And then once you complete the video, okay, then from here, you can move on to the next piece of the book. So you go to objective 2, okay, and then here's objective 2. Now I want to go back to objective 1. There's no arrow over here because there's nothing else left in objective number 1. So if there isn't an arrow here, that means you're finished with objective 1. Now we want to move to objective 2. So when we move to objective 2, you're going to see another video and some more definitions. So as you move along here, once you finish this video and writing the information in your notes, then you're going to select this right arrow key. And you're going to see another small minute video here, again, answering the questions in your guided notes. Once you finish that, move on to the next page. Then you have some more information. Now, sometimes you may have to scroll down too if there's more information. But in this case, we haven't seen anything that we need to scroll down further. Okay, so this finishes up objective number 2. There's no more right arrow. Okay, then we're going to move to objective 3. So objective 3, you're going to see distinguish between qualitative and quantitative variables, and then it gives you vocabulary. So it says the characteristics of the individuals. When you click on that, okay, it gives you the definition of individual. Okay, and then you can X out of it, and then here's new vocabulary and concepts in the context. Now, once you're done reading that definition, then you're going to go to the next line. And it says variables vary. This means that variable can take on different values. And then here's sort of a description of what that means. And then you move on, show on to the next line, and so on. And you keep going until it stops. So again, here are some definitions that are introduced to you, again, as you move along through your guided notebook. Then once you're done with that, then you're going to click the arrow. And then here's another video. So you're going to watch the video. Again, it's a 2-minute video, and then fill out the necessary information. Now, there's no more arrow left. There's nothing for me to look down, so I'm going to move on to objective number 4. So here's objective number 4. Again, I'm going to go ahead and show the next line. Okay, and then you can see here, here's the definition, and then here's a concept map. Okay, it says hide next line, which means I don't have to go any further down. And then over here it says in other words. So when you click on that, in other words, what's going to happen is it's going to show like a 12-second video discussing what you're seeing over here. So there's a lot of good information that you want to use when you move along through the interactive textbook. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on the arrow. We have another video here. Click on the arrow again. And then we have, again, show next line, show next line. Keep going with definitions until it ends. We're going to click on the arrow. We have another video. Okay, so here we have 4 objectives that we've gone through as you're going through your guided notes. Now here's objective number 5. Objective number 5 has definitions. You're going to keep scrolling to your right. Okay, and then that's going to conclude the interactive reading assignment. So that's an idea of what the interactive reading assignment is going to look like. Okay, so as you move along in your course, this is kind of what you're going to do. Now, let's go back to the assignments page. Okay, so on the assignments page, in order to access 1.1 interactive assignment, you're going to click on that. Okay, so when you click on that, it's going to say start the assignment, and then here are the objectives that you want to work on. So when you click on start an assignment, okay, this is where you want to access the interactive text. So very similar to what we just seen. So again, define statistics and statistical thinking. Okay, now you're going to keep moving to the right. Now, the thing with the interactive assignment is that it has questions in here that you need to complete. Okay, so what we saw earlier was just the actual interactive e-text. This is where you're going to go in and find your assignment. Okay, so there's going to be questions in here that you need to complete. Now, here, objective number 1, after you've gone through the video, there's some question help in here if you need anything, and you can go ahead and answer the questions. Once you finish the question, okay, then you can move on to the next objective. So again, the next objective is a video. Let's move forward. Then you have another question that you want to finish. So again, you can look up here for any question help that you may need. Okay, and then there's also accessibility and on-screen keyboard if you need that. So here, you need to answer these questions because it's basically to follow up on what you're watching with the lecture. So, and you need to score at least 70% or higher in order to move on to the homework assignment. So this is the first assignment that you want to work with, okay, and you want to complete that. Now once you've completed the interactive assignment and it gets 70% or above, okay, then what you can do is then you can then go back to the assignment page, which is what I'm clicking on, and then you can start the section 1.1 homework. Okay, and then here you can go ahead and click on question 1, okay, and then you can start your homework assignment. Okay, and then you can look here and see the different types of questions that you have, but you want to navigate through this a little bit. If you want to expand this a little further, again, you can see the question help over here as you move along. Okay, so make sure you take a look at that. So this is what you're going to do. So as you move along with the class, okay, you're going to go to your assignments page. You're going to start your interactive assignment, use your guided notebook as you move along, answer your questions, and get 70% or above to move on to the homework. Now, if you get stuck on an interactive assignment, some of those are in Canvas. I have homework videos that are similar to the ones that you're going to see. So if you have any particular questions outside of office hours, then you can look at those videos to get extra help. So this is what you're going to end up doing. So you're going to move along through chapter 1, and then you have a chapter 1 quiz. Then you're going to move along to chapter 2, then you have your chapter 2 quiz. And move along to chapter 3, you have your chapter 3 quiz, and then you have an exam review, and then exam number 1. So there's your information when you're accessing MyLab statistics. Okay, so we've gone over the interactive e-text. Then we have the multimedia library. Now the multimedia library is that if you want to go and find something that you want to reference from any chapter. So for example, you can select, chapter 1 data collection. Okay, and so if you want to look for any particular section or you want all sections, if you want to find any example videos or videos, you can select all and then select Find Now, and then it'll bring up any videos of what you've seen in the interactive textbook. Okay, so that's what the multimedia library is. And your tools for success. Tools for success talks about how do you enter your answers in MyLab. So here it says, how do you answer the basics? How do you do your homework? Do tests and quizzes, use the on-screen keyboard, enter math symbols, and plot graphs. So in here, you may want to go through this just to have a little bit of an idea of how to answer these questions. So again, Tools for Success is going to show you where to find that information. Then it says MyLab Statistics Student Help Support. You have course information and work through some orientation questions. And then there's some applets for the Student Activity Handbook. Okay, and these are applets designed to help students understand a wide range of topics covered in introductory statistics. So whenever there's a reference in your guided notebook, you may want to go here. Then we have resources, which is mind maps, case studies, tables and formulas is a place that you want to use. Tables and formulas, you can print this out for your reference. This has all the formulas for each chapter. Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, 5, and so on. And then you can also see at the very end here, we have tables that we're also going to reference. So this is where you're going to find those tables when you're going through the course. It might be beneficial to print this out so you don't have to keep looking for it here, but this is where it's going to be located. Next, you have tables and lines. So this is your appendix. Okay, so your appendix in your textbook also has the tables that we just looked at on that page. So if you need to reference any tables, this is where your tables are located. You have table 1, table 2, here's another table. Okay, so there are many tables that you may have to reference. Okay, so this is where you want to find those. And then you have lines. Okay, so this is calculating and interpret the slope of a line. Just kind of goes over how do you find the slope of a line and the things that would be sort of a pre-statistics items. So this is where if you need to have any reference, you can here. Okay, so let's go back to the tools for success. All right. And so now you have a glossary of each chapter of your textbook, Statcrunch, applets, and appendices. Now, then you have technology manuals. So if you're using the graphing calculator for the TI-8384 and the TI-89, I also put this in your Canvas. But when you click on this, okay, what this does is it gives you a resource for calculator usage for each chapter. So when you select Chapter 1, Data Collection, okay, the first time that you're going to use a calculator is in section 1.3. And in example number 3, it shows you how and what to do and what keys to press for those particular examples. I will be having these examples in your homework examples, but if you need to reference this, you can find that here on the Tools for Success. Okay, so this is where your graphing calculator information is located. Then you have an Excel manual. We're not going to use Excel, but you may want to if you want to do it for your own reference. And then there's Stat Talk videos, but these are videos that are going to be in your Stat Talk discussions. Then we have data sets, okay? And then we have Statcrunch. Now, you can open the data sets from your textbook using Statcrunch. Okay, now Statcrunch is not something that you have to purchase. It is already included in your subscription for MyLab. Okay, so before I click on the website, okay, you have Statcrunch video tutorials. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give you a list of Statcrunch videos of how to, create a bar plot, a pie chart, a frequency table. Now these are slowly introduced to you throughout the course, but if you click on these videos, it gives you a short video of how to be able to do that. Okay, I'm also including them in your homework videos. And then also there's a Statcrunch Technology step-by-step tutorial from the author of the textbook, which I've also included in your outline on Canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now when you click on that, you're going to, just like you saw with the calculator, starting with section 1.3, you have Statcrunch Technology step-by-step. So it tells you how to access the information in Statcrunch. So this is also important to reference as you're moving along through the course. You have the title of the section and the topics that you need to know for that particular section. And then if you want to access the actual Statcrunch, you can either find it from the homework assignment, or you can select it here with Statcrunch. So I'm going to go ahead and select Statcrunch. Now sometimes it may take a while for it to upload, okay, because of the browser issues. Now here you're going to select Open Statcrunch, and then this is where you put so this is your Statcrunch. You're going to have, you're going to be using these options, data, stat, graph, okay, and you'll see this as you move along in the course. Okay, and then you have statistic technology tutorial videos, and these are tutorial videos that offer step-by-step guidance with popular technologies that include other things than Statcrunch and the TI-8384, but that's what we're using. And then you have technology study cards. So when you click on study cards, this is technology that we're not necessarily covering in this class. It goes from Excel all the way to SPSS. But I believe there's Statcrunch here. So there is a Statcrunch card that you may want to print out to have handy as well. Okay. So Again, I know there's a lot of information in here, but you can at least pause and go through this as you move along. Okay. And then Statcrunch, this is where you can find the Statcrunch information. Okay, so you can open Statcrunch, and there's the Statcrunch card. You have your accessibility resources, and then you have your skills for success. Okay, so that is basically the reference of MyLab. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about, and that's in the assignments page. So I'm going to go to the assignments, okay, and I want to go to a further assignment located where you're going to have to use Statcrunch. So I'm going to open up an assignment. Let me open up a regular homework assignment here. Okay, so let's move to a question. Okay, so here is a question. Okay, so in this question, you have, it says male and female populations of elephants under 80 years old are represented by age in the table below. Complete parts A through D. So right at the top, you're going to find this where it says click to copy the table. So what this is going to do, okay, is this is going to allow you to open this data in Statcrunch. So here, you're going to have all this information, okay, and this can be easily transferred to Statcrunch. So when you open it in Statcrunch, it's going to pull it up, and it's automatically going to transfer this data into here. And then once it's in here, then you can use data, stat, and graph for whatever you need to do for this particular assignment. So that is the way to be able to access Statcrunch and easily get that data transferred over and then work on that particular problem. So that's going to conclude how you're going to be able to approach working in MyLab.